This video will discuss major scales. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines a scale as a graduated series of musical tones ascending or descending in order of pitch, according to a specified scheme of their intervals. In more musical terms, a scale is a pattern of intervals in ascending or descending order which is used to create melody and harmony. The major scale is one of the most commonly used scales in Western music, and it can be constructed beginning on any note by following its characteristic pattern of whole steps and half steps. The simplest major scale is the C major scale. It can be played by starting on C and playing all of the white keys on the keyboard. Here's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. All major scales are built on the same series of whole steps and half steps and are always spelled diatonically. The pattern is whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step for the ascending scale, and the pattern is reversed for the descending scale. By using this whole step, half step pattern, a major scale can be built beginning on any note. So if we start on D, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step. Again, we've got the major scale. Sounds exactly like the C major, just up a bit higher. We can start on F sharp. Whole, half, whole, half, and so on. When you're writing the major scale on the staff, it's very important to remember to spell them diatonically. This D major scale, which we just played, correctly spelled is D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and D. Notice that each of these intervals is spelled diatonically. In other words, one space to a line, to a space, to a line, and the letter names go up sequentially. There's no duplication. In this case, here we again have the D major scale, but rather than going from E to F sharp, as is the correct spelling, we go from E to G flat. We're using an enharmonic equivalent of the note, and then to G natural. This is a chromatic half step. So while this scale will sound like a major scale, it is written incorrectly on the page because we have two chromatic half steps. Major scales must always be written diatonically. There are also several major scales which, when played on the keyboard, have two different correct spellings when written on the staff. In other words, there are several scales which can be written diatonic spellings, and they can be written with enharmonically. F sharp and G flat is one example of that.